Shalom, shalom. We're back with another lesson. So before I get started, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rechah Kodash, to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. I'd like to give double honor, shalom, and salutation to the hopeful elect, shalom. I don't have a lesson for this one right now, but as you've seen in the clip, as it got in the header, China rejects Netanyahu. World left stunned. And that's because the world don't understand that Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai is taking the power away from Netanyahu, from Amalek, from the true leaders of this world. He's taking their power. He's starting to take their power from them, and he's starting to turn up these other nations to where they no longer fear them. Because you look at Netanyahu, man, in this video when he seen China's prime minister get that paper back to his underling, like they said, look and kill, that man would have been sliced into pieces. But it's the will of the Lord, because these nations will have to destroy Netanyahu and the small hats, also Babylon the Great. And they can't do that if they still fear him. They can't do that if they still up under him. So the Lord is putting a spirit on these nations to where they're dropping their nuts now, and they're letting them know face to face. Because once he realized Netanyahu was looking at him crazy, he went looking back in his face like, hey, bro, it's up there if you wanted to go that way. And we all know Netanyahu and the Israelis do not want to mess with China. But ultimately, it's going to happen. Ultimately, they're going to give in and going to come into that third woe that we're all, who of the hopeful elect, so patiently waiting for. It's going to get down to business, man. And it's the will of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai that these nations come together and look down on Amalek, who's been looking down on them for generation after generation. Because we know it's the will of the Lord that these people, let's see, this Slovakia. Delete this one. This is where I was going. That these people, that the other nations would come against Amalek. I'm gonna start here first in Numbers 24 and 20. When he looked on Amalek, he took up his parable and says, Amalek was the first of the nations. See, and these small hat was the first of the nation for years upon years now. But now the Lord is putting the spirit on these other nations to not be afraid of them anymore, to look at them as, as they're the true evil of the world. And a lot of this really started with the war over there in Palestine. The world got a good look at who these people truly was. Because after they supposedly got their retaliation, they kept going and further. I mean, Netanyahu is wanted for war crimes right now. So these people are looking at them like, hey, man, these can't be the true people of the Lord, which they already know that they are not. But they understand, like, you know what? We leave these people in charge. We never going to have a turn. And it's only going to get worse and worse. So now you're seeing these nations, such as China, they no longer fear Amalek. That's why the scriptures say, hey, at one point you were leading the nations. Everybody bought into that BS. But now, not so much. But his latter end shall be that he perish forever, which we know that's going into Obadiah 1 and 18, how they're ultimately going to be destroyed. But the point in there, that at one point, they was the first of the nations. They was at the top, because Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai was the one who put them there. Job 9 and 24. The earth was given into the hands of the wicked. And these people are the wicked, which the Bible speaks of. But now, these nations no longer fear them. They no longer see them as someone that they should keep ruling over them. I'm going to go here. Obadiah, starting at verse 1, the vision of Obadiah. Thus says Yahweh power concerning Edom. We had heard a rumor from the Lord, and a bastard is sent among the heathen. Arise ye, and let's rise up against her in battle. Yeah, these nations are ready to fight Amalek. They're ready to fight the rest of Esau, Edom, or America. They're tired of the shit that y'all done. They're tired of being ruled over in fear. They're tired of being told what to do. Hey, these nations feel like, hey, we would be better rulers, especially Moab. Moab real deal hates being a washpot to you so-called Jewish, to you small headers. And now that they realize, hey, we got somebody backing us just as strong as your America, hey, we ain't taking no shit off y'all no more. And we're seeing that, man. That's what we saw in this video. So they like, shit, let's go then. You want to throw them things, let's throw them things. You got missiles. You and your America got missiles. Us and Russia got missiles. We can get down to it. Verse 2, behold, I have made thee small among the heathen. Thou art greatly despised. And that's the point I wanted to get. You are now greatly despised, Amalek. These people hate you. They're disgusted by you. They're disgusted by your ways. They're disgusted by listening to you. That's why that man gave him that paper back. Like, man, take that shit. Then you gonna stand over there looking at him like, oh, that's how we doing? That boy turned around, look you right in your face, look you in your eyes like a man. That's exactly what I'm doing. And we know, there wasn't no words said, but we know looks. We know intention. We know the situation. Because if you look at it, man, that man didn't fear Netanyahu. You sitting there shaking your head like, okay. That man like, yeah, it's up there. And this is all the will of Yahweh by Shema Shah. Proverbs 21:1. The hearts of the kings are in the hand of the Lord, man. And he's directing everyone towards war. He's directing these other nations' hearts, their mind towards war. Especially the war against Amalek, who we know the Lord said for generation after generation, he would have war with Amalek. For what they did to us, man. When we came out of Egypt and they come and attacking the weak of our people. The Lord ain't forgetting it. Now he's raising up these other nations after putting y'all on top to bring y'all down, man. They no longer fear y'all. Y'all are despised. Matter of fact, let's get that word despise. You're despised by the Lord. You're despised by the other nation. Heck, you even despised by some of your own people. And ultimately, that's going to lead to your destruction. Let's see. There we go. Despise. Strong H59959. Salaki. Bazar. To despise. To hold in contempt. Disdain, man. Yeah, you saw that man eyes. He held you in contempt. He had great disdain for you. To despise, to regard with contempt, to be despised, to be despicable, to be vile, worthless. That's how that foreign minister of China felt, man. You worthless to us. You some vile creature. Okay, Strong's definition. Primitive root, to be disdained, despised, disdain, contempt, contemptible, think, to scorn, a vile person. And that's Amalek, man. That's Amalek and Esau, Edom in the whole. They're a bunch of vile people. And these other nations now truly see it because Yahweh by Shema Shai has taken the blinders off them. And they realize, man, who they done made a deal with when they came against us. I'm going to come back to the Obadiah, but I want to go here to Joel 3:10. Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say I am strong. These nations like China, who had at one point their economy got messed up, but they worked through that, built their way back up to where now they're one of the world leaders in exporting goods and making things. Because you can go look at anything that you done bought, and I guarantee at least 85% of the things that are made come from China. Matter of fact, let's just look that up. How, let's see, not how, what's the percentage of goods made in the world comes from China? All right. China accounts for approximately 29 to 31% of global manufacturing output and roughly 15.9% of total worldwide merchandise, which is actually pretty good for one place, man. Let's see. How much of that come from America? Well, come to America. Let's try this. China provides about 14 to 17% of total imported goods for the United States, the largest economy in the America, which translates to roughly 8% of the total manufactured goods consumed by the U.S. market, man. This one place. So China built themselves up through this exporting the goods. So now they got military power. They got highly advanced technology. Because, man, I done seen it where China got a truck to where if you blow a tire out, man, that whole tire will lift up and you can still drive the truck on 3 wheels. So imagine what kind of technology they got going on with their weaponry, man. So they're no longer weak, man. That's him standing up to Netanyahu saying, hey, we're strong now. You can't bully us into taking your policies. You can't use America to make us do things anymore because we're just as strong as them. Plus, we're getting backed by Russia, who has even better military technology than America does. So these people are no longer scared of you. You're despised, you're weak, and it shows, man. Because this man did it right there in your face with no regards, man, for any consequences. If you're ready to fight, he ready to fight. Ready to go to war. All right? This is Isaiah 14, starting at verses 5 and 6. Yahweh had broken the staff of the wicked and the sepulchres of the ruler. Yeah, man. He's broken y'all power. You're no longer looked at as the apex predator among these other nations. Matter of fact, let's get that apex predator. Because for a while, with America backing y'all was able to do that. Y'all was able to have these other nations in the palm of y'all hand. But it's no longer so. An apex predator is an animal, the very top of the food chain that has no natural predator of its own, man. And for a while, y'all had that. Y'all had no one to really rebel against y'all. Y'all was able to do and push whatever policy y'all wanted to. But no longer, because Yahweh B'Shem Shai is making sure that these nations no longer fear you. He made you small among them, meaning he didn't bring you down from your lofty heights. Now these other nations know, hey, we can put hands on y'all and we can touch y'all now. Verse 6, he who smote the people in wrath with a continual stroke, he that ruled the nations in anger is persecuted and none hindereth. Yeah, we're seeing that now, man. Where other nations, those small hats can't go to these other countries anymore because they're being persecuted. They sat there and whine about anti-Semitic for so long to where now these people of other nations, seeing how they truly is, don't give a fuck no more. And nobody hinder it but Babylon. The rest of the nation like, hey, they deserve it. They deserve it. And we're going to skip down to 10. And all they that speak and say unto thee, art thou has become as weak as we? Art thou become like unto us? Question mark? Yeah. Y'all are looked at, especially Babylon the Great, like the other nations now. Remember, back in that Joel 3, the weak say they're strong. So they're saying they're strong. That means you done got weaker. Meaning you're at a level that we can touch you. And it's all the will of Yahweh Bashim Shai. And we're going to go back into that Obadiah, which talks about that. All right? Obadiah 1 and 3. The pride of thy heart has deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock. Yeah, y'all still think y'all apex predator. Meaning those other nations fear you, but they no longer fear you. You don't see that the power you once had is diminished. That these nations no longer see y'all as a threat, no longer sees Babylon the Great as a threat, who was y'all military might, who was y'all enforcer. They no longer fear them. So your pride, you still thinking, hey, we got it like that, but you don't. Whose habitation is high, that says in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? Guess who did it, man? And we about to get into it. Verse 4. Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and though thou set thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down, says Yahweh. See? It was Yahweh Bashim Al-Shai that brought y'all down. It's Yahweh Bashim Al-Shai that put the spirit on these nations to come against you. And it's the will of the Lord, y'all ultimately going to be destroyed. This is just the beginning. So get used to it, man, because there's going to be more and more nations come against you as y'all loot, as Yahweh Bashim Al-Shai takes power from you. But that's all I had on this. I hope the lesson edifying. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bashim Al-Shai. Shalom.